Okay, we are back, and I'm just getting the music back up here. Um, all right, let's see. I believe we have a few character queries to address before we jump back into the actual plot of things. Let's see. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. I see 5 here already. Let's go into let's go in order of what we got these in. The first one, and these are all from Shiny Zubats. The first one is for you, Ardent.
Hello.
Where did you learn such good manners?
Well, I suppose it should come as no surprise that the person that taught me most everything I know, besides, I suppose, thievery and I guess being able to defend myself, and I suppose my ability to craft items on the fly, but everything else I learned from Regis Fleck, my mentor, my employer. He taught me to blend in more, or as much as I possibly could, despite being a fairly large minotaur. I needed to fit in with just about every caste in the city. So that involved being able to actually blend in most with the elite, which is the most challenging part. And despite my looks, I can do that reasonably comfortably just by enunciating correctly and giving good posture, polite manners, that sort of thing.
Alrighty. Next one up is for Kanji. Are there any foods you truly despise or refuse to cook?
Oh, that's an excellent question. Um, I don't like using corn in anything if I can help it. No, sorry. I don't like using corn in anything if I can help it. It's an important staple crop, but when I was younger, we didn't have a lot of food to go around, and when we did have food, it was just the staple crops. A lot of rice, a lot of corn, uh, and don't get me wrong. I'll eat anything if I'm if necessary. You learn that lesson really early on. But if I can, I avoid corn when I can help.
All right. So corn. That definitely doesn't have anything to do with Kyle coming from Indiana.
Nothing at all.
Nothing about everything in this character is original. Nothing was inspired.
In fact,
Yeah, no, this is
Kyle never even saw what corn looked like before coming to Seattle.
this is my most uninspired character.
Okay. Next question up is for Bosco. Where's the best place to hide your loot?
Well, see, my getup don't leave much to the imagination, so keeping loot on my person is relatively difficult. Anything I need to keep hidden in the short term usually goes in a boot or under my hat, or if it's particularly small, I'll put it in one of the chambers of my trusty rifle, Angelica. But when I gets home, that's where I stash my earnings real secure like. See, I bought this ceramic pot off Miss Lena Ghosh a couple years back. I got it at a discount, you see, because it had this crack in it. It was supposed to be this little hog, but I like to slip loose change into that crack in the back of that little hog. Ain't no one the wiser. Man, if Miss Ghosh had any idea how useful that was, she could make so much money off of it, I tell you what. But you got to be smart. You got to keep your earnings hidden. Ain't nowhere safer than what I like to refer to as a hoggy bank.
The first piggy bank.
Think I might stop me a trend one day.
Oh God, I'm gonna die. I love it. I love it. I love it. Okay. Let's see. Reverend, what are some of your hobbies outside of your job?
Well, some of the things I like to do when I'm not working for Penumbra is helping out with the tree and the egg, that temple. Cassandra Amir has been a treat to me, helping me get out of my darker extracurriculars. But when I'm done with that, I kind of like to hang around Old Town, talk to the locals. Sal, she really flew under the radar, her and her brother. But other than that, I also like going out to the farmlands and practicing my shots.
That's how he
Lots
could
of
make that
space
knife
there.
shot.
Yeah, that knife shot wasn't a one-off. That took practice. Something I'm trying to get Bosco into the habit of.
Some people use clay pigeons. Reverend T. Jedediah Dog practices with knives.
Oh, clay pigeon. Man, if there was a crack in the back of a clay pigeon, I bet you could keep a coin in there.
Yeah, I heard a tale once. Somebody shot a clay pigeon and just a bunch of coins flew out. Very dangerous.
You audience here, you only see the surface level. Like, you see everything as it's practiced. What you don't see is Bosco and Reverend in the field for 3 hours every day for weeks. Just Bosco just tossing the knife up and Reverend shooting.
Somebody got to be good at tossing knives.
My God, that's great.
I believe we have another for Reverend.
We do have one. Reverend.
Yeah.
How did you need Bosco, and was it love at first sight?
Well, it very much was not. I'm sorry to disappoint. See, Bosco and I first crossed paths when I newly a reverend and still not out of my other activities.
I like that he became a reverend before getting out of his shady past. Like, there was
Yeah,
a time
still-
where he was doing both. Like, just... Oh, God.
Took a lot. There's times where you don't always get to choose the jobs. But no, still running jobs for a Cardinal Company or anyone with the coin. And Bosco, he was kind of new on the scene, you know, the up and comer. Decided to come down to Old Town, shake some trees, see what fell out, whatnot.
Bring some new money to Old Town.
Steps into the bar where I liked to frequent at the time. And he starts hassling my lady friend.
It's pronounced hostling. I was hostling your lady friend.
He was spinning some swill in his hornswoggle.
Oh, God.
Oh, come off it. You're about as exciting as skimmed milk. She was looking for some fun. I promise you that.
The fun she was looking for was not gonna end well for you, my friend.
Oh,
I want to take a moment before we start again to just appreciate all of how consistent you're all able to do these dumb accents, except me. Like it comes off of me. I keep going into Western when I'm trying to do like congested Boston.
I promise you, my accent has been all over the place too.
Yeah, it's hard.
There's times where I'm worried like I'm drifting the Bosco territory. I'm like, no, I have a different southern.
I'm from a different South.
Oh yeah. No, Reverend Dog thinks he's a high ringer.
As long as I'm in the
Yes.
ballpark of whatever I was doing, I'm happy.
Yeah.
Um,
No, I get it. It's so hard when there's two amazing Southern accents to not also jump into those accents.
They
Especially
have
because like
they have rubbed off on me a little bit in this, and I've just kind of tried to lean into it.
I mean, like, everyone here has lived, like, in and or around Indiana at some point. We've been around these accents.
Yes.
We ain't always talking in accents. Course, we ain't talking in these accents all the time. It just kind of comes out a bit more when Jetty and I are hanging around each other.
Yes, Evansville, almost Kentucky, Indiana. Okay, we should jump back into it, and we are going to jump back into it with Bosco and Kanji.
Indeed.
My Hoosier is
All
really
right.
showing. All right, so Bosco and Kanji, you were you heading like directly to the Pedal District first, or were you
Arden
going somewhere
Arden
else
was-
first?
Arden was pretty insistent we go to the hospital first, but
Yeah, but I didn't
Bosco
know if Bosco was
is-
actually going to do that or not.
Bosco's pretty consistently only ever gone to Dr. Hayes
Okay.
and doesn't really trust other doctors much.
Not gonna lie, this might be a case where we told Arden we were going to the hospital, but just went straight to the pedal district anyways, because Arden's great and awesome and really thoughtful, and also sometimes suggests taking more time for things like safety and OSHA regulations.
You gotta forgive Arden. He means well, but his brain well's just a bit dry is all. We's going to the pedal district to look for some magic folk what to cure my arm.
No, I wouldn't go
Ain't
that
no-
far, Bosco.
Oh,
I
well, fine.
do picture Kanji and Bosco are just arguing the entire way, though. Like,
Who poured
Oh,
salt in your
absolutely.
whiskey anyway?
All right. So you
yeah, I
go to the,
bet you play good assless chaps.
I
um,
do look good in assless chaps.
So I'm gonna, I'm going to ask Kyle the player a question here as to whether or not something affects Kanji's choices in the game.
Okay.
So Bosco very clearly wants to find a person that your character already knows. Lady Drake.
Mm-hmm.
Does this affect Kanji, or does he keep his mouth shut on this particular front?
I think he's keeping his mouth shut. He's met her before. He's had dealings with her before, but it's not an antagonistic relationship.
Mhm.
I think at this point they have had dealings before, but that business has since been concluded. And they've probably stayed out of each other's way since then.
I see.
Is what I'd assume.
Okay, then in that case, as you get to the Flower District, it's slightly quieter than usual. It's not really much is going to be heard besides leaves rustling as people are, kind of starting to make their way up to the festival and like, getting on their way out and moving. The only ones, of course, staying here are the flowers themselves in the district. And since you're both known people, they're not really doing much. They just kind of, whenever you pass by down the streets, they kind of look at you, acknowledge and give you kind of a nod or a wink, and let you go about your business. And I presume that you are probably seeking out Fire Lily and to be particular for Bosco. Is that correct?
That is correct. Bosco is looking for his old sort of friend,
Gotcha.
Fire Lily.
You find her. She's kind of near the edge of town, just not the edge of town, but like the edge of the district. Looking out on the same street that the Hayes live on, and how quiet it is. And she looks back when you guys arrive. She says, "Oh hey, you look like shit."
Oh, Miss Lily, I may look like shit, but you're looking quite lovely today. You know, I was just pontificating here to my companion that if the Lyra were to trade their wings and halos in for petals and roots, I reckon they'd look an awful lot like you.
She
Good to see you too, gorgeous. Kanji says and just like blows a smoke ring.
she like is about to like blush and giggle at Bosco, and then kind of cringes a little bit at Kanji. And so it ends up just being this kind of awkward, confused look that she takes a moment to like chew through and personally process before shaking it off and well, I thought you already got what you needed around here. Like, did you find anything? Did you find the doctor?
We found something, but tweren't the doctor. And Tiger Lily, I need a favor. You know we don't come asking for favors lightly. Bosco's gonna point at his arm that is quite painful, cold, and glowing, and says, I need to know how it were that your folk came into being, and how you did so without becoming monsters. Cause I'm kind of worried I might be becoming one myself.
She looks at it just a bit more closely and gets starts looking a little more concerned.
Yeah, Bosco, that
Well-
gets any worse. You're gonna have to wear more concealing clothing.
You know that ain't happening, Kanji.
She kind of squints at it and nods. Yeah, this well, I'm not really the one who knows more about this, but this looks like a particular problem we might have been solving before. Yeah,
This morning you told me a bit of a secret, Miss Lily. Is there another secret you're wanting to let me in on?
They're kind of connected. I
Mhm.
have a friend who keeps things running here in the district. I'll take you to her.
Much obliged, Miss Lily.
She's-
Kanji does just say, "Is it who I think it is?"
She nods and turns and starts walking like straight into some like bushes between houses. She doesn't really need to cut through everything, nor does she really seem to take the time to consider that two normal humans might have a little bit of trouble keeping up. So you're kind of seeing her getting further and further away, but like going into what is essentially a far more wooded area than most anywhere in the city. It's strange because you get the feeling that regardless of whether all the people were around or not, this area would still be quiet. Bosco, you in particular, passing through here, you start to feel that there is indeed some magic in the air. It's almost as if you're being watched. The air itself is sweeter and more floral. It's very honeyed. And of course, as you go deeper, you notice that your arm seems to feel sore and tingly. But she leads you all the way into essentially this little clearing in a forest. And in this clearing is like a greenhouse. All glass walls and ceiling and roof. And inside the greenhouse there is a woman who is working amidst a very wide variety of plants that usually do not grow anywhere around here. They seem far more exotic than anything that typically grows around the city. Fire Lily stops short of the door, and she points and says, "This is Lady Drake. She's kind of behind this whole situation, all right? So I'm going to ask that you be on your best behavior, okay, Bosco?
Miss
Don't-
Lily, I will be on the Reverend's best behavior.
Kanji actually like puts out a cigarette and like you can tell he is like visibly nervous. I think Bosco would be able to tell that, but
Mhm.
Yeah. Okay, so you guys go in. She's a very dark-skinned and frazzled-looking individual with kind of a patchwork lab coat. And right now, she's kind of like you're to the side of her, and she seems to be using some sort of pipette to drip things into the soil of different flowers. And they all in turn react differently. One of them like kind of perks up. One of them like grows eyes that open and kind of watch her. One of them wilts, and one of them starts to just tremble. And she looks over at you, and Kanji, I didn't expect to
Kanji.
see you back here.
it's been a while, Lady Drake.
You know her?
We've had business. Kanji
Had
is actively
business?
avoiding Bosco.
Oh, is this how you treat all your benefactors?
I assumed you'd want your involvement in my enterprises as discreet as possible.
That's correct. Who's your friend?
This is my Kanji says, "This is my associate Bosco Jones.
Huh.
We've been doing some investigations together, and as you can see, he had a bit of a run-in with a creature that's been terrorizing the city."
Oh yes, I can see that. She has like big lenses over her eyes, and she like flips a few of them so that she can like presumably telescope in and see that wound. Oh, I know what that is. And she grabs like a big old cleaver and walks over to you. You didn't need that arm, did you?
Whoa, 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 whoa! Hey,
Oh,
Miss
come
Drake.
on. I'll make it as quick as possible. And she like takes your hand very gingerly, looks you in the eyes. She might be better at your own game than you are.
Should I roll a philandering or anything?
You can try.
Okay. All right. Let's see here.
Kanji kind of knows
Oh,
that, however.
Kanji
Okay.
might notice, and this is something familiar that he might like both be turned on by but also scared of. As she gets closer, you smell this honeyed floral scent kind of blossom and get more almost intoxicating. It gets hard to think. Everything is sort of fuzzy and rosy. It's a very sedating sort of effect.
Kanji is blushing, but also absolutely knows that she is trouble.
Miss Drake, I got a lot of people counting on me. I got lots of things I gotta fulfill. I need my arm, but well, I was thinking maybe you could fix this up, or perhaps maybe make it better. Something I could weaponize, like old Angelica here.
Weaponize, huh?
Robot arm.
Bosco reaches for his rifle, Angelica, and holds it out as kind of a demonstration. He's like, "Now I know you're making living plants here. Surely one adapted healed arm ain't too much outside your skill range. Won't you do me this kindness as a friend of the flower folk?"
Oh, darling, nothing's impossible for me. But she kind of gingerly holds up your arm, like, by the wrist, like it's just something disgusting. I can't work with this. I still need it to go. She as you kind of pause and stumble, she like strokes your face with the cleaver, and she says, "I promise I'll make it quick for you, darling."
Bosco's gonna turn to Kanji and say, "Kanji, I need you to be serious with me here. Can I trust this woman?"
I don't know, Fable.
Kanji looks to him and says,
"Kanji,
absolutely
I will.
not."
Here's the thing.
I need you to tell me the truth here, Kanji."
You have two different things that you have to go off of for Lady Drake of the Petal District. Obviously, in meeting her and getting her funding for your restaurant, you know that she is a very, very powerful mage, probably one of the most powerful in the city of Jesper. But you also know that she uses her resources very wisely, right? She taught you about a lot of the herbs that you still tend to use today, and those do indeed help to make the food better and impact the lives and the health of the people you serve. There's also what she does with the money, right? So like she brings these flowers to life, and she teaches them to pickpocket and other kids to do the same. However, she uses that money not for herself, but to feed back into the city. She funded your restaurant with that stolen money. She may be funding other good groups in the city with that money. Actually, roll Kanji. I want you to roll 5-star food bank to see if your character can put something together.
Okay. I appreciate that direction. I believe my modifier is a 18, yes.
Yeah.
15 plus 18, so 33.
Ooh, you just made it.
Ooh.
You realize that Lena Ghosh has had nothing bad to say about the Petal District and actually tends to go there more frequently than other people. She wears floral patterned clothes a lot and tends to get along well. And more importantly than anything, perhaps, it doesn't make sense at the prices that she charges that she would be able to put on a festival like this. I mean, approval from the mayor is one thing, funding is another, and the bazaar is one thing, but like this is huge. It stands to reason that Lena Ghosh may very well be getting funded by Lady Drake and the Petal District. So, you know that as crazy as this woman seems, she consistently backs good people. But yeah, that's what you come to the conclusion of.
I think Kanji. This might be a little too forward based on the assumption I made there, but could I look at Bosco and say Lino trusts her?
Bosco's going to kind of like lower his eyes toward Kanji and be like, "All right, I'm trusting you based on you trusting her, based on her trusting her." Kanji,
I do turn
I swear.
I do turn to Lady Drake and be like, "There's nothing. Like, be real with me. There's nothing you can do to save the arm."
She shakes her head.
And at this point, Kanji realizes, oh fuck, there's that kid at the hospital that maybe Arden. Uh-oh.
Bosco's gonna notice that realization and be like, "Oh, you need to be somewhere right now? Am I inconveniencing you?"
No, it's, some we might need to deal with later.
All right.
Alright.
He's gonna.
Kanji really wishes he was smoking, but he knows he's not supposed to smoke in here.
She nods and she points over at a table in the far corner that is cleared already. Would you mind lying down over there, please?
Bosco will reluctantly go and sit on the table and say, "All right, you can take it, but you can still like put something together, right? I can still make this
Yes, of course,
useful.
dear. Go on, sit down.
Something to okay, all right, something that accentuates my strengths.
Oh yeah. I would
we can't
do
have
nothing
Bosco's
more than
magic
accentuate
hands.
your strengths.
I
as
can't
you
afford to be
have.
cornered again. You understand? All right,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kanji, won't you go and Kanji, won't you go and get me a shot of fish milk or some cold pirate or something?
Actually, Kanji, you haven't forgotten about any of the. You haven't forgotten about how to butcher things properly, have you? Or how to cut different meats.
Let's see. Bosco's going to roll for. I'm gonna try to roll for gumption real quick.
Just to like keep his shit
hoping
together?
hoping to roll low so I can just pass out. I rolled a 15. Am I awake or I'm wide awake? All right, fine.
Does Kanji respond?
So one thing I wanted to say is like, yeah, we can't have Bosco's magic hands become 50% less effective.
Oh, they'll yeah. Don't worry about it. Bosco's holding his tongue out of respect.
Is very, very afraid that he knows exactly what she's talking about, and it's like, yeah, I probably say I'm better than I ever was.
Good. I want you to take this, and she hands you the cleaver, and I want you to remove his arm just at the joint. Thank you. And she walks over to some of the other plants to start collecting some things that she's going to need. And she's very quick about it. She like comes back before you've actually made any cuts, and she's just kind of looking at you like, are you going to just stand there forever?
Dude, we give him a painkiller or something? It just...
Oh, right. Yeah. She looks around, and she takes a belt and then shoves it in his mouth. Okay.
She is like looking down at Bosco with the most pity you can imagine. You have never seen this expression on Kanji's face in your life, Bosco.
Meanwhile,
Likewise,
Lady
you see an
Drake-
expression you've never seen on Bosco's face, which
I'm
is
assuming
fear.
Lady
Fear
Drake is
and trust.
excited. Like, disturbingly so.
Like seriously, like you've given me herbs that like can take the edge of my headache and shit. Like anything?
Fine. You know what? You said you remember them. You find them.
Fuck.
Just
okay.
make sure you
That's
grab
a
the right
chef
thing.
roll. You can do that.
And hurry, because he's about to die. Or kill us.
Okay, so I roll a cooking skill to find the herbs quickly.
Yep.
Likely it's 20. So that first one, not great. Doesn't need to matter.
Advantage roll. Advantage roll. I'm redeeming advantage roll in the chat. Advantage roll. Advantage roll.
Wow, way to meta game.
It wasn't that bad. But I guess I get advantage.
You get advantage. Roll with advantage and tell me what you get.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
I'm not
here's a
on the
here's a
advantage.
question.
How does advantage work in Fable Doom?
All right. I mean, it's. I see what you're doing. So typically with advantage, you would just like roll the couple of times and take whatever the highest roll was. I like to make things interesting, and I want you guys to live, so I do things in-house a little differently. I'm gonna let you roll all of your dice and pick, the two highest, like, actual physical rolls.
Okay, so
Ooh, that's cool.
So I've got 2d20. What you're saying is I roll it a total of 4 times and then pick the 2 highest rolls.
That is correct. But that is a house roll. That's not a mechanical FableDoom exclusive sort of deal.
Gotcha. So my total roll is. Hello, beep machine. Why are you beeping at me? 7 plus 30.
I'm gonna go ahead and
My total score is going to be 37. Not 37. Yet. No, that's wrong. That's
For Iron
57.
Okay.
57. Okay.
57.
You do make it. Congratulations. You found a particular herb, and it's like this was not made clear, and it was all the way on the other side of the greenhouse, kind of tucked away into a corner. She did not make this in your favor. But you did find it. Just probably based purely on assumed assholery. And she looks so disappointed when you do.
Okay, so I prepare the painkiller for Bosco, I guess.
She just kind of like waits there, like tapping her toe, like watching Bosco, like this could have been so much fun.
And so now do I roll to cut off the arm?
You sure do. I'll let you use
Yay.
your cooking though.
I hope
Cooking.
I hope so. Yeah, no, it's preparing meat, it's butchering, it's I
Yep.
know. Hey. That is 45 total.
Okay. As you look over this cut, you kind of look at Bosco's cuts that he made in the arm before to just kind of gauge exactly how far the silver has gone. And in doing that, you do see that Lady Drake was right. it is actually getting right up to like past, like it's about to pass that joint. And so she wasn't kidding when she said that it's like, okay, you either have to do it now or it's not going to work. And so as you bring this knife down, you end up landing it just a fraction of an inch away from the ends of those glowing silver tendrils that are reaching out from the cuts. And you kind of in one fell swoop remove the arm. In a moment of searing pain, Bosco, you feel your arm just go.
Owie.
Yeah. And in that second, well, at the very least, you had painkillers.
Yeah.
In that second, she pushes Kanji aside and the arm aside, and she looks at you and says, "Now, sweetheart, this part's gonna hurt." And she takes like a few like twigs and branches and seeds, kind of this conglomeration of plant bits that she's gotten, and she just jams it into that open wound.
Ooh.
Now for that, I'll let you roll the gumption to see if you remain conscious or not, if you really
Alrighty.
want to.
Oh yeah. I rolled a 22.
Still awake. Congratulations. Your life sucks.
Oh, one more gumption roll, and I can level up my skill.
Ooh, that'll be fun. You feel in an instant kind of this warmth, and it's strange because it's kind of like a physical manifestation of what you kind of smell coming off of Lady Drake, and it kind of, you feel this thing grow roots and like dig itself through your shoulder and kind of into your chest, just really firmly attaching it itself to you before it starts growing back outward in this like woody, viney sort of way, and you see it starting to take the rough shape of an arm very slowly. But yeah, she is effectively growing you a new arm. And it seems strange. It's not a plant that you recognize immediately.
I want to point out while this is happening, Kanji is holding on to the wrist of the severed arm in one hand and the butcher knife in the other, and just sort of like traumatizedly looking at the.
Bet you're really wishing you had a cigarette right now.
Yeah.
For the sake
Yep.
of you understanding what's going on, I want you both to use whatever roll that you would use for your investigation on this new arm to kind of understand what's going on with it. And roll with disadvantage since you're both so shocked.
Question. On advantage and disadvantage rolls, does that count as two separate rolls so we get 2 experience points on it, or is it a single roll?
It's still going to count as one. It's going to count as one roll since it's one occurrence. But that was a good
Gotcha.
question.
I rolled a 12.
All right. 31 total. That's including the modifier.
Okay, Bosco, you don't recognize shit. The world is blurry and dark and pain right now still. Kanji, you recognize something very, very off-putting and disturbing.
Great!
You recognize those, that the plant that's seemingly growing out of Bosco now looks to be the same as the magnolia. That is all. As it continues to grow, it does sprout one like large flower like right on the shoulder, and it's, you know, a big old pink magnolia flower.
Ooh, flower pauldron.
but after a few moments, you have a fully grown, kind of wooden arm, Bosco.
Alrighty. Let's see. Noting that down. Bosco's still got the belt in his mouth, I assume.
You do, and I want you to roll, either. Roll gumption. Roll gumption for this one, because this would be shocking.
Alright. I rolled a 14, but that does give me one more experience point in gumption, so I can level that up afterward.
Fantastic. You rolled a 14.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's barely making it. All of a sudden, you hear voices that are not your own in your head. You feel the life force of all of the plants in this greenhouse and kind of in the surrounding area of the Petal District. You can intuit what they feel, what they want. It's almost like a low grade of telepathy, and you get the feeling that you might be able to communicate back to them, and that may or may not have effect, but for now, it's just very off-putting that you're not quite alone in your head anymore.
Alright. Bosco's going to use his good arm to remove the belt from his mouth, and going to look to Lady Drake and say, "What the hell was that?" And then look to Kanji and say, "And thank you, I guess."
He's still holding the severed arm and
You
still
wanna-
very.
You want to put that down, man? It's kind of giving me creepy vibes.
Oh,
He's
yes.
still holding the severed arm and the knife, and it's just like, yeah, no problem.
Yeah, here.
and he tosses.
She actually walks by you, grabs the arm, opens the door. Fire Lily, be a dear and put this in. See
With
if
the
anyone's
rest?
See if anyone's got a bonfire or something going on. Yeah, okay. And she like kind of just hands it off to her, and she looks at it like, ew, and then walks away.
Lady Drake, you need a level with me here for something.
Yeah.
The Magnolias are behind all this, aren't they?
All this. What else?
The monsters, the goats, this curse in the arm, the disappearances.
Well, they could presumably be, yes. The Magnolias, and as far as I can understand, they seem to be some sort of conduit for magic. Magic that is partially theirs and partially not. So, it can be applied for both very good things, like your friend's arm here, and very awful things, like potentially transforming people into not people.
Ah, great. I just realized I'm going to need to redraw Bosco's portrait.
Just
Yep.
pretend it's the off-screen
just-
arm.
just put a large magnolia pauldron on his shoulder. Nobody'll know. On that note, Bosco's going to turn to Lady Drake and say, "So how am I supposed to file with this thing?"
Well, like, I suppose like this. And she looks at your arm for a moment, and for a second, everything is very, very quiet. And then, of its own accord, it lifts up, and the roots, like these branches that are your arm, just kind of extend at hyper speed, like in almost a blade, like right up to the point of where the wall ends, and then they stop. And then the entire extended part just falls off. Well, you could do with that what you will. You like projectiles, obviously, but I figured your connections to other living things that it also offers you could come in handy. But if you need to fire things, then, you know. You could do that with other things too, though. And she looks at the same like the other flowers that she had just been dropping stuff into the pipettes for, and the one that had grown an eye proceeds to also. It opens a mouth and then kind of just chomps down on the flower beside it. You know, you have options.
Bosco is going to just sit in stunned silence and examine his arm, leaving Kanji to do the speaking.
Kanji's still... Okay, so Kanji is sort of... He's thinking back to what the Reverend and Bosco had told him of... Say someone was to eat part of these magnolias. What would happen to them?
Well, I suppose it would depend on their constitution, their magical properties of the person themselves, how much preparation there was involved. Blindly, it would probably just depend on the phase of the moon, or it might as well.
What phase of the moon is happening now?
Well, for starters, the phrase, to you all, a phase of the moon, would mean nothing.
Oh, okay.
She is, for your intents and purposes, for your characters rather, that makes no sense. So yeah, she said something that makes no sense. She has wandered off into what can only be assumed to be botanist mage gibberish.
I see.
Because as we have previously established, this game takes place before the stars and the moon, or rather right at it.
I forgot about that.
Yeah. Now, I mean, you can ask for clarification, or you could just try and, wave it off. It's up to what you think your character would do.
Hanji's trying to parse all this. Basically says, sort of with a almost uncharacteristic level of seriousness. I'd even consider customer service voice skill using here.
I mean, if you want to, then you can.
I'm trying to figure out my phrasing. Sorry.
No, you're good.
Drake, I need to understand how this works.
All right.
And I'll roll for it just for...
Oh, go ahead.
That is 6 plus something. I think that was it's a D8 skill, right?
Yes, it is your D8.
Yeah. D8 plus 7. So it's 6 plus 7, which is math.
13.
13.
Yep.
Thank you.
Good old Indiana education.
Yeah.
All right, so you can you repeat how you asked your question?
I need to understand how this works. It is... Yeah. I emphasis on need.
She sighs and pats your shoulder and then pushes you over to a chair.
Oh boy.
All right. I've been around for about as long as the plants have been around. So when I have something new pop up out of nowhere, I like to know what the fuck is going on. This was done magically. I don't know who did it, I don't know how, but it's channeling everything and making all the magic in the city weird. You might have noticed that things felt different coming into my little abode than they usually do. And I have been giving off some sort of something more strongly. Everything is a bit more powerful than it usually is. The magnolia itself seems to be drawing on some sort of power source. Perhaps whatever was outside, perhaps something that's far below in the ruins. I'm not really sure. Either way, it is channeling power, acting as sort of a field and directing it elsewhere, as I have seen after climbing very, 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 very carefully up to the top. There's something above the magnolia. It's very small. I've decided to call it a moon, but it's very black. Anyway, it's about as big as it's gotten so far. And that seems to make everything else get crazier. It's the big, fully realized kind of form that this particular moon has right now. If someone, say, ate the magnolias at this wrong time and had no affinity or awareness of the magic, then I presume that in a fight between the magic and their body, the magic would win. For example, these monsters that my underlings have been seeing around may or may not be related to that. Now, presumably they were with these robed figures, which the cultists, crazy bastards. They go all the way back to the beginning of the city. But they probably know something about them, and have been using this. They're a very superstitious lot. But they're aware of how the stuff works. Roughly.
I would like to request Kanji develop a new skill.
Ooh. Okay.
On understanding how the magnolia works magically, or I don't really know what to call it yet, but I think Kanji's putting the pieces together of this in particular in connection with his other skills, like the idea of consumption and nutrients and to a degree chemical knowledge just from how cooking works.
Okay, so the way that I'm going to write it down, because I'm a nerd and a sucker for stupid names, is I'm going to call it Magnolia, but I'm going to spell it instead of no
With a K.
Yeah. No, I'm gonna put this in chat. Why not? I'm gonna put it. I'm spelling the skill like this because I'm a nerd. And that's what I do.
Okay. So I mean, you want to explain how it works, or should I?
I would be happy to. So every time you add a new skill, that skill starts off with a dice rank of D4. So every time that Kanji will try to utilize this skill or learn more about it or what have you, he will gain experience and get better at it. When his experience reaches the dice rank that he's at, which is 4, then he'll get a modifier level. When his modifier levels reach the same dice rank, so when they've reached 4, he'll get to bump up to the next dice rank, which would in this case be a D6. Unless, of course, we happened across other major events that happen to spur his knowledge on in unreasonable ways for the sake of me making these characters very interesting and powerful very quickly, which I may or may not do for a stream.
Okay. Kanji has made extreme mental note of what Lady Drake has told him here, and asks one more question, which is, How do you tell the phase of the moon from down here?
It seems to be fairly regular. Though it's still shifting and growing and weird. From down here you won't. You can't see it. You'd have to get all the way to the top, past the tree, to be able to fully see it in the sky. Things are different out there. There used to be this sea of red outside the walls, and now there isn't. She stops and kind of ponders that, and then shakes it off. Was there anything else that you needed? Or is that all?
Anji shakes his head and looks at Bosco. Is he good to, like, should he rest or he's just like?
Are you asking me, or are you asking me, or are you asking Lady Drake?
I'm asking Lady Drake. Like I'm asking for like doctoral advice.
While he should rest, I have the distinct feeling that you don't have a lot of time. So I would suggest you do whatever you need to do first.
Well, up and at him, Bosco.
It's certainly the worst situation I've seen, but I've stood the gaff before. Kanji, I need a drink.
Well, let's go get you a drink, buddy.
All right.
All right. So I assume, are you guys going to go and get a drink and then head down to the dwarves? Or are you going to get a drink at the dwarves because they drink? And you know it.
I think we need to stop by the hospital for a very different reason than we were originally intending to stop by the hospital.
I think you might be right. I don't know. Maybe the hospital has something to drink. I don't know. Weirdly, I'm feeling
alcohol,
like
right?
some water. Some water would be good. I don't know. My arm's craving some water. Usually, I don't touch the stuff, but
literally, like, while we're walking down there, is there like a homeless person with whiskey on them that I can just buy it for Bosco?
You know what? Sure. But I'm gonna warn you now. You take one swig of that whiskey, and your arm starts to like immediately clench.
Oh no!
Oh no!
Bosco spits the whiskey out and say, I can't do it. He pours the bottle out and says, "Oh, joyful poison, I knew thee well."
Oh no!
Yes,
That's worse than losing the arm! Oh, that's worse!
You're welcome.
Oh, how on earth, Kanji? How on earth have you dealt with this woman before, and you still get cigarettes? But I lose my arm. I lose my drink.
I didn't regrow my fucking limbs.
I had to hang out with the Reverend of all things. This day is getting worse and worse.
How are we going to explain this to the others?
Speaking of the others,
I don't know if
So, you guys were heading to the Cardinal Company, and you reach this large kind of foyer area, and there is one kind of youngish looking man there at the desk, and he looks up and sees that you are clearly not robes of the Cardinal Company, nor are you elites, and he kind of would you like to schedule an appointment? Thank you, Loopy, for the cheer.
You're not gonna lie, pour one out for Bosco.
Yeah. So as a bit of behind the screen for our viewers here. In my spare time, I put together a generator to randomly give me a list among probably around 100 different kinds of whiskey that Bosco would order, and I've got to use it once.
Never again. But hey,
That's fine. It's fine. It's way more fun this way.
got a hype train.
We do get a hype
Did
train.
we get a hype train
hype
again?
train in
Yeah,
we
we
got a
got
hype
a
train.
hype train.
Oh my god, how did I not? Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, just
It
happened.
just started.
Like just now. Wow. Thank you so much, everyone.
New arm who dis.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Oh,
Well, thank you.
I think all of
New
It's
arm
funny.
for this. My god.
we didn't get properly sad for Bosco until that happened.
Yeah.
Until then, a facet of his personality hadn't changed. It was just his being.
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh,
Dynamic character.
Yeah. Oh, jeez. Why does that feel so bad?
I know, it's
This
weird,
is
right?
good
It's
for him.
it's
He
like when
drinks too
Arden said he
much.
had worse luck than Kanji did.
Bosco gave his
Oh,
arm
that
for this
hurts.
hype train, guys.
Yeah, but I gave up my whiskey too.
And his
well,
whiskey.
we also got hydrates.
Oh my god,
Let's all
we got
hydrate with
hydrates.
water.
We have gotten hydrates.
Well,
Pineapple juice.
Drink up,
Delicious.
Okay.
Oh,
Oh my god. Okay, we
Oh,
got.
this we gotta move
keep going.
on.
We're going.
Yeah.
We're actually going a bit slow now, but we've gotten like really good. We've had fun. All
Yes.
right, let's knock out this Cardinal Company bit.
All right.
Okay,
Yeah.
so.
No. Actually, yes. Yes, we would like to make an appointment. Are there any openings for today? It is rather urgent. A man's life actually may hang in the balance.
He kind of cocks his head and he looks around. Like there's no one in the immediate vicinity. Well, what? Like, what do you need to know about? I guess.
Well, we were investigating a case. We're from Penumbra. I don't know if you're familiar with us, but it
We're
seems
familiar
that...
with everything. Thank you,
yes,
Shiny.
silly question on my part. My apologies. Well, we were investigating two cases, and it seems as though somebody lost some goats that chewed on magnolia roots and turned into this great beast. And
Thank you. Safer
it's
for
rather
this
got us
world.
concerned. So we were wondering if perhaps the Cardinal Company may or may not have some information on this phenomenon and possibly how to protect against it, things like that.
Well, I guess if it's important, give me a second. I'm gonna. He goes to like run to a door, kind of back and to the left, of like on your side and to his right, and he stops and says, "Oh, the fee is 3 platinum down. But I'm gonna go ahead and find you some documents really quick. I'll be right back." And
Oh,
he
my God,
goes
is
back.
silver.
Well, I mean, we got enough to equal that amount. Just slowly starts counting out the silver. 1, 2, 3.
it takes a few moments, and he comes back with like a very thin, like freshly inked volume. Okay, so this seems to be what we have on the magnolia root. This is a new phenomenon, and so this has been a rare opportunity for us to study something new. it looks like we have been actually outsourcing a great deal of this research to it looks like one Church of the Old Gods. They've apparently been very interested in this sort of tree before, but none this large apparently. And then
Indeed.
and before he can continue on about like that funding that you that you had heard about, the same door that he came through slams open, and I'm gonna let you both roll to see if you recognize this guy. This is the person who just walked into this room, very angrily is a bigwig in the city. Also,
Okay.
oh my god, thank you all for the hype train stuff.
Yeah.
Like,
Wonderful. Thank you.
friggin' cool.
Thank you for the
Let's see.
story. I got 14 plus 18, so 32 on West of Righteousness.
I have 20 for deductivism.
Okay. Wait, you said you rolled West of Righteousness?
Yes.
Okay. I see. And you rolled, what did you get for Ardent?
20 for deductivism.
Oh, yes. So what you note is that this particular character, kind of an oldish fellow with like thinning hair over the top, kind of wrinkled, kind of a wrinkled face and crow's feet at the eyes, and something of a thin mustache to a like pointed goatee sort of deal going on. He walks right up to the person who helped you and just slams his hand down on the book, and he says,
Oh, hello there.
"Now, these are not actually documents that are open to the public just yet. You will have to wait,
Oh, I'm
like
terribly
everyone
sorry.
else." And he takes them back. Was there anything else I could help you with?
Well, we don't need a full accounting or detail. We just need to know if, perhaps see, and Arden kind of explains what he already said to, the person at the desk and elaborates more. Well, it seems that it's possible that one of these goats had bit somebody, a photographer. We sent him to the hospital.
Yes,
promptly,
yes,
of
the
course, but-
satyr. We already have dispatched someone for that.
Okay. Wonderful. It's possible there may be more cases, but we want to make sure that we're prepared in order to issue any help.
I assure you there is no problem at all. If you would, kindly
No.
leave the premises, please.
Good sir.
Um,
With all
what did remind me what your role was again? Like what the number was?
it 32, like
Okay,
plus
you
modifier.
got it.
Or what?
You got it then. So you recognize who this person is. This is someone that you tried to stay out of the way of and off of the radar of. This is the High Robe. This is the person at the very top of the Cardinal Company. His name is Elazus Telton. But like,
Yes.
you wanted to keep a low profile, and this was like the one person you would want to avoid, who just showed up.
Oh boy.
You recognize that. Ardent just missed it. Ardent's just getting not the best rolls today.
Oh well. Oh, but I did
With-
roll that, so I get to move my XP up.
Yes, the photographer.
With all due respect, High Robe, and with all the kindness I can muster and the urgency I can stress, there are situations that are developing all across the city. And even one of our number has been a casualty of this. So please understand that we would like just a bit more than it's not available.
This man is very tall. And he kind of...
I see. Hi, Robe. Got it.
He makes
All
it a
hail the
point
tallest.
to look down his nose at you.
Can you do that to Ardent?
I would say he can't look down at Ardent, but he can still look at you very condescendingly.
Also,
Okay,
I'm gonna roll,
actually try and use Unstoppable Force to be an imposing figure.
and I'm gonna roll my Hornswoggle to add
Right.
to my charm.
You can
20.
certainly try. All right,
It
that's 20.
Couldn't hurt.
And
Yep.
what did you get for Ardent's roll?
62 for Unstoppable Force.
Oh boy.
All right. You are not intimidated by him, and he is annoyed at that. And you can see it. But you, on the other hand, he is not intimidated by the Reverend.
Mm.
In fact,
I'm doing this. I'm doing the nice way.
he doesn't.
Yeah, Arden's.
Oh, he doesn't care, and he knows that
Yeah.
you're the more vulnerable one of the two. So what he does is he makes it a point to step forward and step on your toes. Now, Reverend T. Jedediah Dog, isn't it? You wouldn't want the mayor to find out about your previous extracurricular activities, would you? That wouldn't be very great for your wife back home. Not good for your finances, nor good for her health. Wouldn't you agree?
Ardent at this point steps in between the two, actually like pushing between the two so that he has to step off of the Reverend's feet.
Let's keep it clear. Let's keep it civil. Business.
I have no
is
intention
business.
of fighting. I know
No,
that is
I'm
not how we
directing
do
it to the high robe.
Then
I say
let's
this.
keep it civil, shall we? Your seal
Yes.
to come to the elite ring was specifically for the case that you got from the residents of Jeli Velda. Was it not?
Indeed.
Then you have
And
no
as it-
business here.
Oh, it sounds like you don't know the full story then. Do you?
He's starting to get annoyed, but he takes like personal offense at someone saying that he doesn't know something. And so he
Indeed.
stops and he looks at you with just rage in his eyes. And he smiles and says, "Oh, please, go on."
Oh, I'm sorry. You would like information from me?
I love this.
Yeah, fuck off, guy.
Ardent gets to be intimidating.
I'm waiting.
He sighs. "I hope you have a lovely time at the festival tonight." And he walks away.
Perfect. I think our business is concluded here.
Yes, it is.
Well, that pretty much confirmed what we already needed to know.
Yes, so now we know. Now we know that they were actively paying the cult for
Yes.
research about the Magnolias and the other goings on.
Under the table, too.
Under the table, and they didn't want other people to know about that. But that's how they know about what's going on, and they seem to have other
Yes.
other things at play here, and they are actively saying that it's not a problem, even though they have people actively dispatched, even to things
Disappear people.
like Humbert. So they're clearly being deceitful, and you
Yes.
have them dead to rights for that.
Fantastic.
All right, where are you going to go?
I believe we have to meet our team members, unless you have any other ideas, Reverend.
No, and hanging around here isn't going to help our case too much. But are we meeting them down at the dwarves?
I believe so.
Okay.
Mhm.
So we have Ardent, the Reverend.
Actually, if we could stop back at the at Mara, let Mara know that we've basically confirmed that information.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna move these back because if that's where you're going next.
Yeah. It's immediately after that.
So you go there, and Mara opens the door and she's kind of puzzled. I didn't think you would be back so soon.
Yes, we decided to take a quick pit stop. If we
Had
might
a
come
sudden
inside real
development.
quick.
Yes, of course. Yeah. She lets you in, and you notice that there are a few people now starting to mill about, and as they see you, they kind of like check that Mara is the one who let you in, and shrug it off, and they keep on going about their business as usual. But they're all dressed in like dark thieves' clothing and prepping for something.
Ooh. All right. Well, I let Mara know. It seems that we can definitely consider that the
Cardinal Company
Cardinal Company.
has been paying off the cult for research.
Indeed, they have documentation for it as well.
Okay.
Fortunately, we were not able to get our hands on it. However, we did catch a glimpse.
Let me guess.
And it does seem that
to-
they've been disappearing people.
Yes. I think I might have figured this out too from looking at everything else and considering their motives. The Cardinal Company is very powerful, and they like to keep it that way. This offers them a chance to tip the scales. I think they may be weaponizing whatever the church has found, the cult has found, in order to get more power away from, say, the government and into their own hands.
Indeed, I was afraid of that myself.
How much do you know about their high robe, Telton?
Slimy old hag. That is all she says. Do you know?
yes.
You
In
said
fact,
you found.
Bosco would-
You said you found documentation. Could you describe it to me?
Oh, absolutely. As he proceeds to describe the book in as best detail as he can.
Like you notice that when you describe this, like everyone who's been milling around and prepping stops and listens to what you're saying. And then once you finish,
absolutely. Ardent will even like raise his voice enough so he can make sure everyone hears.
once you finish, Mara looks around the room and says, "Well, you heard him. Go on then." And they all start to go toward what you recognize now, since you've already been in here before, as the armory.
I love it. I love it so much. I will
Well,
say
I
they must
suppose
be
you'll want
keeping a
payment,
very
won't you?
well. They're keeping a very close eye on it. I will say. As soon as the poor desk clerk brought it out, the High Robe himself stormed out of the door. Something we were not expecting.
Mhm.
Yes, that makes sense.
Freshly inked.
She starts walking back to a different office, and just gestures for you to follow her.
He'll follow.
We follow.
Yeah. She walks into the office and opens what looks to be a closet, and beyond this closet door is just a plain kind of maid's sort of just it seems like it's been converted to be a bedroom of some sort. But she lifts up the mattress and pulls out a little bag and walks it back to you and hands it to you, Ardent. I believe that is payment and an extra courtesy for your expedient job.
That's very kind of you. Thank you.
It's been a pleasure doing business.
And you did say that he was there at the time too, correct?
Just a few moments ago.
And it's
He'll try and
only
describe.
and it's only people of the Cardinal Company there right now?
Correct.
Arden will try and recall what he saw, which I assume is.
It did seem
just
fairly
people.
quiet, so yes.
Yeah.
No monsters, no cult people at the time.
Yeah.
She nods. Excellent. Do you look in the bag before you go, or because she's about to escort you guys out at this point? She's already walking back.
Ardent will not, just because he's learnt from Regis it's courtesy to trust what is trust that payment has been made. You don't count the money in front of them.
Right. She gets you to the door and opens it. Thank you again so much for your service. And if we need anything else investigated in the future, we'll know to call Penumbra.
Yes, assuming we return after tonight's escapades.
I'm sure you will. And with that, she
Reverend's gonna usher Ardent to go ahead without him and stop.
Okay.
Oh.
Mhm.
Okay.
So, this was my first meeting with Telton, and it's clear that he's got quite a temper.
Yes.
It won't be hard for him to put two and two together on what might happen.
Mm-hmm.
If I need to send somebody to safety, can they consider this a safe place?
By all means. As I've told you before, this is a safe place, and the grounds are enchanted. And more heavily enchanted after recent events.
Thank you.
No problem.
Good evening.
Good evening. And she lets you go and shuts the door behind you. And that's that. You've made it all the way through one of these subplots. Actually.
Hey!
Yeah.
Good job, guys. I assume you count that money.
Sure. Well, before leaving the grounds, we'll both take a look inside.
So what typically would have been done, obviously, you got a 50% down payment of 5 platinum. What is in the sack is 15 more platinum.
Oh!
Whoa.
Oh! Well then.
All right.
Pardon me, my internet just blanked out. Did I miss anything as far as
Oh,
We
Oscar's
got 15
dead.
platinum.
how much?
We got 15.
Nice. Okay.
Well, would you like your share now? 15 doesn't... Well, I suppose it was 20 total, although the first 5 was turned into ammunition.
Yeah, I'll take a bit in my share now.
Very good. Let's say...
Let's settle on 3 for now.
Yes, 3 for now. If there's anything left over, we'll fight over
Put
it
it.
later.
We'll put it into the office.
Yes. The office fine.
The office fun.
All right.
And I think we're heading down.
All
Yeah.
right. All right. Wow, we are heading down a lot slower than I thought we might. This is
Oh,
one of
I'm
those
sorry.
times where I am genuinely considering whether we need to go over or not. We might. Are you guys okay with that? Let me ask ahead of time.
Just a little bit.
I'm okay
Alright.
with going over.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Bosco and I will try and be quick at the hospital.
All right. You do indeed. You go to the hospital. And it's chaotic. There are several people like just milling about and nurses who seem panicked. And as you walk toward the hospital, you will note that one of the windows on the front-facing side is completely broken out.
Oh, jeez. Okay.
But you get to like the reception area and do you have an emergency?
Yeah, it looks like maybe you got an emergency.
Yes, we actually we can't really be handling a lot more people right now. We've had a major incident with one of our patients.
Kanji like just puts one hand up and then like holds up the monster photograph, something like this.
Yes, actually. Where
All I needed to know.
Where did you get that?
The numbers handling it.
Okay. Well, will we need to deal with any more of these, or is Penumbra going to handle those too?
We're looking to handle all of them, man, but might I ask is one what became one of these things? The only one with those frostbitten, icy injuries? Maybe some cross-shaped eyes?
Well, for now, he managed to hurt a few more people on his way out, but we've since restrained them. Though I hope that the restraints are strong enough. They're not meant to deal with that level of,
There's no easy way to say this. You'll probably just want to amputate the wounds.
Yep.
Noted. I need to tell that to the doctor and the surgeon on hand. Is that all you needed?
Silver. Not for us, from us. If you have any, it seems to be rather effective keeping them at bay. And could you point us toward where this creature might have run off to?
Yes, it beelined for the Grand Foyer, the tunnel down.
Thought it might.
Kanji looks at Bosco. We need to catch up with the others now.
To the dwarves.
To the dwarves.
Let's go.
All right. So we get. Oh, this is fun. I'm excited. So you all reach the level below Old Town after a great deal of searching around and finding out what's been happening.
Can I add one thing when Ardent and Reverend are passing the level that the festival's on?
They
If
were
there's any...
like a level below that. But what were you gonna ask?
Oh, I wanted to see if I could find one of the homeless people Kanji uses to pass a message on.
Oh, wait. Okay. No, that was right. Okay. Yeah, sure. What was the message that you were going to pass?
A note written on his notepad and folded. Hey, can you find someone named Frederica Toulet at the festival and give her this for me? Say it's from the Reverend. It's
Yeah, sure. Okay, and they take the note and
he passes them 3 gold.
yeah the this is just a scrappy kid, but they take the gold and the note and they run off to do what you've asked, because you're a recognized figure that's like connected to Kanji. But yeah, kid takes the note and does the thing.
It
and
says
so-
working late tonight and high danger.
Gotcha. Did you also, I assume, include the address of 1001
Is that-
Spruce?
Yep.
Gotcha. Okay.
Estate is safe.
You do that. And you all kind of traverse the layers below. It goes a lot faster than usual, just because everything's sort of dead quiet, aside from the few occasional sounds of something crashing or breaking in the distance, or machinery
question.
that's still working. Yes.
Were we meeting Handooth here, or did we have to go back up to the commercial district?
Meeting below. He
Okay.
specifically said that, and he also got help from Kyle's peeps to get his equipment down.
Gotcha. Okay. Noted.
Handeth meets you down by the dwarves area, and all the way kind of to the very edge of it, to the last staircase that is rickety and slimy and not safe at all in any way, down to the ruins. And he kind of takes stock that you are all here. Now,
Like all four of us.
Yeah.
Just
Well,
Yeah, some discussion about the arm.
yeah, 3 4/5 of us are here.
Good evening, Mr. Jones. I pray
Good
your
evening.
pants have a back this to what happened to your arm.
Good evening, Jedediah. My pants have a back, and my arm has an upgrade.
Are you okay?
Not in the goddamn least. But it seems to have a little bit more capability than I anticipated it would, and I'm not dying anymore. So, better than I could be.
better than I can say for our photographer friend, unfortunately.
Oh
This-
no.
This is gonna take a few hours. Is there anything else that you were gonna go and do or check out or talk to before? We're going far.
I
think we did everything.
Well, we
Reverend
solved
fills them in
the-
on. Oh yeah.
we solved the case, or completed the case for 1001 Spruce. That's checked off the list.
Reverend and I took care of the goat's problem with Kenson Lin.
Yeah, I believe you got like 150 silver for that or something. 150 or 2.
We got
Um,
200 silver.
200 from that. You got a total of 20 platinum from Jelly Velvet. Obviously, there's Gerald paid you guys all of it in advance. He didn't do a down payment, so you've gotten his entire payment. And Humbert is, of course, missing.
And
We were Dwarves Lair. We were gonna see about possibly smelting some silver, and we
Yes.
have Ardent has some
yeah,
some
divvying out the
items
gear.
to hand out.
Yeah.
Well, Kanji, this is for you, as he hands over a pair of boots. If I remember correctly, they obviously they look rather kick-ass, and they allow you to jump real high.
I love
Oh.
them.
And for you, Bosco, if you're still interested in this, he hands over the gun that shoots money.
Bosco's gonna look it over and say, Josephine. Puts it on his back.
Josephine it is. And then for everyone, we have these. As he holds up some of the spectacles. These will
Alright.
allow you to see in the dark.
Handeth takes one of these,
Rest.
one the pair of goggles, and is like, "Ah, God damn it, this would have been useful earlier."
Bosco will put his on and say, oh, yeah, I can see why. It's practically daytime out here.
Did we want to get anything smelted down for weaponry?
Well, how much silver we got? We're gonna need. Well, I mean, we could shoot
I
the
had to-
silver now.
I had to spend some of it in order to actually complete the assignment.
Requisition.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Which, incidentally, Ardent will fill them in on that little escapade to the Cardinal Company.
We'll probably want to melt some of that silver down for some tips for your horns. The rest of us got some kind of weapon, but you're still operating off of your muscle alone.
I would not be against it. I would not mind something for my hands as well.
Maybe some knuckle dusters.
Knuckle dusters, some simple finger claws, anything of the sort.
Give yourself
Whatever
some
they can do.
gauntlet.
Minotaur with freaking silver knuckle dusters. Yes, give me it. I want it.
Give yourself some gauntlets so you have something to lock with as well.
I would certainly not be against it, but we'll see what the dwarves can do in short time.
Mm.
All right. All right. So I assume that you do that. You do see Sulfur Barkama, which is a dwarf that, frankly, Bosco knows the best. But he takes your order and kind of gives it the priority. Just, you know, don't know what his friends are like asking something weird for, but he'll do it.
Oh, Sauter, you looking like the backside of bad luck. How the hell you been, man? Bosco's gonna hold out his tree arm and then and puts out his other arm instead.
Well, what the hell happened to you?
It's a long story, Sauter. We'll go over it, don't you worry. Maybe later over drinks, assuming we come back from this. Look here, we got a lot of orders to put in.
Yeah, of course. I'll get this right up to you. If you want to meet at the festival later, then that might be fun. Get drinks
Absolutely,
there.
I look forward to it. Oh, yeah. And we'll owe you one.
All right, so he takes all the silver back and starts the dwarves working on it. And then he you guys get on your way. Handeth is there waiting, and he's ready. Is there anything else that you want your characters to go and do or check out or meet before we enter into the ruins?
What layer is the Temple of Tree and Egg on?
The Temple of Tree and Egg is on Old Town's layer. It is the layer directly above you. If you wanted to stop by there on your way down, I would retroactively allow it.
Yeah, I think that would be good.
All right. So you
And
go to
Ardent would not be opposed.
All right. So
Bosco.
on the way down, you guys go to the Temple of Tree and Egg. It is this. Actually, you know what? I have I actually have a map specifically for the Temple of Tree and Egg. Let me just. Yes. And this. So you guys visit the Temple of Tree and Egg. And if I have... Yes. So you have Cassandra here. I've already shrunk this tote, or this token down, so I don't think I'm really going to be able to... If I make it big, it's not going to be pretty anymore. It used to be.
What you talking about? Cassandra's beautiful. Don't matter what size.
But the temple is completely empty. It's a little messy. There's stuff that still needs to be fixed up. But she sees that you guys arrive, and I'm gonna switch back to our map just so that I don't lose track of things. She's the only one there, just kind of sweeping things up, because she's the only one who is really required to stay there for the
Festival, guarding the egg.
festival happening, and you know, she has a job. She watches over the egg. And she sees you all coming in, and I expected everyone to already be over there. Is there something you needed?
Checking in. Job is running late today.
I see. Well, that's fine. That's fine. Do what you gotta. She notices that Bosco is there too, but doesn't say anything.
Ardent is also there. He would have
Yeah.
stayed alongside Reverend.
Well, I mean, she's welcoming to everyone. She doesn't really say a lot other than hi, and then she gets back to like sweeping. Cassandra is very quiet and very dutiful. It is noted that like even people of higher stations, even they aren't here. She is literally the only one in this big temple, just kind of caring for it right now, because her one like sole purpose in life is protect the egg in the tree, the temple. She's dedicated her entire life to this.
Sorry to derail everyone by coming here, but seeing this miracle happen.
She is a miracle, ain't she? Oh, the egg.
Couldn't help it.
Cassie.
She kind of like looks at Bosco and rolls her eyes.
Bosco will say, Cassie, my dear. Each time I look upon you, I see that time has done you a kindness greater than any I ever could, but
At
if
this
the
point,
gods be gracious...
Kanji butts in and says, I don't agree with Bosco on much, but you do look lovely tonight as ever, Cassandra.
She, one, looks very uncomfortable.
A question.
Two, what?
I'm now at 6 experience points for flirting. Do I get a rank up?
Yes, you do. Yes, we did. We didn't really go over that when my gumption ranked up.
I haven't been like keeping too like close track of everything. Yeah, but once you've like reached both like the modifier points, and then you rank up the die, and then you continue to rank up. Yeah.
I'm sorry. That's the only reason I had Kanji do that.
Yeah, so if you've gotten 6, and then you've also gotten your input, like if you've got your XP points again after that, then yeah, you can jump up to the D8.
So, yeah. So I just got my modifier to plus 6 now.
So to the audience, the way these skills work.
Wait. So you just reached +6.
Yes.
Okay, that's where you are. Okay. Yeah. So every time like you get the XP according to like your dice rank. So if you're rolling a D6, right? then every time your XP reaches the maximum roll of that dice rank, in this case a 6, you get a modifier level. When your modifier levels reach, the maximum roll, then you get to bump up to the next die, after, again, one more round of experience. So in this case, if you just reached a D6 plus 6, it'll be another 6 XP and then the D8.
Gotcha.
But
funny.
yeah, frankly, at the pace that you've been going, that still won't be long.
Yeah.
She looks at Bosco and Beauregard, what happened to your arm?
Beauregard.
Beauregard to her, it's Bosco to you. Cassie, it's a long story, but point being, there's some danger going on around here that might be a little more danger than we had anticipated. There's not necessarily a guarantee we'll be coming back.
Oh.
I just had to see you again before we went.
Reverend gives a side glance but doesn't say anything.
Well, if she's just trying to grasp like the gravity of the situation, and I can't leave here.
Oh, and I wouldn't
But-
ask you to, but
If you get done with whatever you're doing, I'll still be waiting here for you.
if the gods be gracious, I hope to be back here soon.
All right. Is there
Pray
anything
for
else
America.
that you guys do or say or ask while you're here? And by the way, like when you say pray for a miracle, like she nods in agreement with the Reverend as well.
If we don't make it back, this could spill out in the streets and real ugly. People will be needing help.
The Temple of the Tree and the Egg is always here for whoever needs it. Whether it's
Have
it's
the-
just pulling their life together, or whether it's everything actually going wrong and them needing a physical leg up, we're here.
Wow. Ooh, it just occurred to me. Have the magnolias been growing anywhere close to this?
Not really, not in particular. They're over there at the wall, We're a little further in, closer to the sunlight.
Reverend's gonna take a look at the roots real quick. Are they growing normally, or are they like growing towards?
They are all spread out. It doesn't seem like anything has changed here at the tree. Everything seems to be in working order, other than that it's exceptionally quiet here.
Beware of these. They're the source of these troubles we be having.
Is there anything else I should know?
Don't eat them. Don't feed them to anything. And if some strange creature comes lunging out of the dock, don't let it wound you. It's also spreading from them.
Oh, and
Noted. She looks back toward another back room that you, the Reverend, would recognize as the place that she would keep her kind of holy armor. So her intention is to go suit up just in case.
That may
And,
be best.
Cassie, do you still remember how to handle a rifle?
she rolls her eyes and then pulls out her sword, which kind of glows with this holy white energy, and she says, "Beauregard, I don't think I need a rifle." And she
Well,
smiles.
that wholly depends on whether or not that blade of yours is made of silver.
I've got my ways.
I trust that you do, Cassie. Bosco's gonna tip his hat and back away. He said his piece.
All right.
Reverend's ready to mosey.
Okay.
I picture Kanji and Ardent are already like waiting outside, all in like dramatic pose as the two gunmen start up.
Actually, Ardent was sitting in the middle of the pews, just examining the tree, and will be the last to leave.
Okay, that's cool too.
All right. Is there anything that Ardent says or does before he walks out?
No.
Okay.
He specifically is looking towards the grains in the tree, and the whole time has been feeling the wear lines in his hand.
Hmm. Cassandra notes that you've watched it, and she doesn't say anything. She just notes that someone has taken the time to see the tree and the egg and let it affect them, and she knows what that means, and so she just kind of smiles at the realization that someone else is having a special experience that she's had every day. And she lets you go in peace. And with that, I assume you head down, you meet Handeth, you get the silver smelting with the dwarves and sulfur, and go down into the ruins.
Yeah, and I'm wearing my rocket boots, my rocket goth boots,
It's elevator
with
boot.
presumably new silver-tipped toes.
All right. So you go down into the ruins, and Handeth does by no means take you down a normal path. There's like one quick little stopover where there's what seems to be an underground lake below, but other than that, it's all effectively a maze. But he takes you down layer after layer after layer after layer after layer, and you get the idea that Jesper may be far older than anyone realizes. And as you pass, you start to see like these carvings in the walls and paintings, and they clarify more and more and more the further that you go. Effectively, they tell the story of the world being built by these two gods, who eventually kind of just disappear and fade off. You see the story of the rise of the old gods, this blood fog that starts to encroach on everything. And for the first time, you see kind of a rough idea of how people ended up and why they ended up in these walled cities. And as the hours tick by, you just everything from above fades away, and the only sounds are of dripping water from the caves. The only smells are those of wet rock, and to a point that stays the same until you reach the bottom. And at the bottom, there sneaks in a smell of decay. there's another lake much like the one above, but wider and greener here. It's got like sort of these faded, what may have been statues before that just kind of lying along the walls, and there are multiple tunnels that lead out in any given direction. And he nods toward one particular hall, and he says, "Now that's the one you want. Just be careful."
Bosco was born
Right.
careful, Kanji says.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hear you.
I assume that as you go down this tunnel, the floor is like, it's not fresh blood or anything, but you do note that the stone down here is stained red and silver. And you do recognize not only footprints and the claw marks of the wolves, but even hoof prints. So you do know that at some point, Amina was taken here. You'll also note that there are footprints both leading to and away. So you can't really make heads or tails as to whether they'd be here or not anymore, nor when the last time that someone would have come here was. But when you reach the end of this tunnel, you reach this, it's kind of a dark, a cavern with, kind of larger stones, like, moved to and fro, presumably for people to sit on, and an altar on the far side. And there is a lot of blood off of that altar. There are a lot of pieces of the magnolia and shreds of the flowers and claw marks all around there. And that's what you would see at a first glance. It seems fairly empty here right now as well.
I'd like to roll West of Righteousness, see if I can glean any further clues.
Same with deductivism.
Okay.
Usually I would roll gumption here, but I'm going to, if it's okay, use philandering as my connection to my arm to see if I can reach out and detect anything around us.
Yeah, sure.
Kanji, rather than rolling, is actually, well, I do want him to study the magnolia pieces and whatever's going on that altar, but he does actually, like, if there's a particularly not covered in blood chunk of, like, magnolia root, he wants to pocket it.
Well, they're all pretty well covered in blood.
Come on, not
But if
even
you're just-
one.
It was being used for very particular purposes. I mean, you might be able to find something akin to a twig. I will say this, depending on what the others find with their rolls, that may change. So hold that thought.
Okay.
I want
Wow.
to hear Ardent and the Reverends and Bosco's rolls.
21 for deductivism.
Okay.
24 for West of Righteousness.
Okay.
55 for philandering.
I'm Okay. First of all, you notice that this cavern that they have seemed to congregate in, beyond the crypts, there's another, like, alcove in the back that leads into, like, a separate kind of smallish room. And in that room is one, a place where like the magnolia roots have reached all the way down here and broken through to, and it seems to be where they might have been sourcing some of the initial pieces of roots. So this is where you might be able to get little scraps or shavings of wood for kanji.
Okay.
Ardent and obviously Bosco, you could deduce this by feeling that the tree actually extends this far down,
Right.
and it has reached here and it has been cut into a lot. You will note that here the tree is a bit different. Here, with the amount that they've cut it and used it, it seems to bleed. The roots do. But it's got this.
Are they bleeding red or are they bleeding silver?
They're bleeding red. Good question.
Hmm.
Oh no.
Ardent and the Reverend, you rolled for like normal investigation-y stuff. You find a lot of documents. They're not really very hidden or anything, other than being a bit blood smeared. But you have uncovered kind of a map of the city and a plan for what is going to happen tonight.
Oh, good.
Uh-oh.
It appears that the cult was getting funding from the Cardinal Company to research the magnolias. They already knew what the magnolias were, but the resources helped. They want to bring the old gods back or somehow channel their power. Their plan tonight. This music is too chill, and I knew it was going to happen at some point, and I don't want it happening now. They have a plan of attack tonight, and it is twofold. They intend to attack the festival by presumably letting loose the wolves at the festival. The reason for this, despite how horrid it is, seems to be a very small price for them. They wanted to make sure that they could infiltrate with zero resistance the temple of the tree and egg.
Dadgum, suicidal, self-destructive.
They intend to steal the egg and use it in a ritual high above the city by dawn's first light. They want to channel the power of the old gods, the thing that has been giving the magnolias this evil power, into the egg and use it for themselves, or perhaps keep the era as it has been, as you saw walking down through the tunnels, the history of this world. So they are potentially doing something that could affect a great many more people in the world, or do something unthinkably horrible. But they fully intend on attacking the festival, and at the same time as that diversion is happening, stealing the egg from the tree, and then taking that up to the top.
Okay. That's a lot to unpack.
It's happening all at once.
Any inclination on what their like signal for time is? If they're trying to do it all at once, they must be able to coordinate a time.
They want to use the egg at dawn's first light, right? So
That's correct.
Probably
Which means
at dusk.
Before then.
that a few of their members presumably have already headed up to the top. A few of them have presumably split off to take care of the temple, and of course they have the festival happening at once. Their intentions seem to be letting the festival kind of get underway for a couple of hours or so, and then attacking. So when everything is in full swing.
It's gonna take us a couple hours just to get out of here.
It's taken you hours to get here. By the time that you are reaching back to like the dwarven level alone, it is quite possible that their attack would be starting by then on either area. So it is you can get to the temple quicker and more sure than you can get to the festival. And if you get to the festival, you'd probably arrive like in the midst of everything.
So, while they're looking around, I do want Kanji to take a snippet of the magnolia. And presumably, if he was looking around and like trying to understand the ritual, like using the same tools that they did in the same way they would cut a piece of it, he would take a cutting and keep it.
Bosco, roll gumption for me.
You got it.
Should I roll my knowledge?
Let's see which.
You can, but I think it's going to be figured out anyway by whatever happens here with Bosco.
Okay.
It's a 15.
It's a 15. You stay conscious. You hear this ear-splitting, bone-chilling scream in your head as this magnolia is harmed.
Oh,
it is
jeez, okay.
it is an immense and very unholy, sacrilegious, evil pain. When this thing is harmed.
Is Bosco aware that Kanji is harming it, or
Yes.
does he just... Okay. Kanji, would you cut that out? Gosh!
Very poor choice of words.
Very.
No, Bosco. Here's Bosco say that, and he hadn't finished making the cut. He's like, "Oh, why don't you?" He finishes it off.
Oh,
What's
he's
your
just
problem?
gonna grab his head. What's my problem? What the hell are you doing? Look around you. You see what all's going on here? We don't need any more of this magnolia shit up in here.
But we do
Look
need
at what
to
they did to my
understand it.
arm.
But we do need to understand it.
As you hold this freshly cut magnolia in your hand, Kanji, roll now. Now is the time that you would roll your magnolia.
That is just a 2.
Okay. You feel a very, very light tingling where the sap touches your skin.
Okay.
That is all.
I'm sure that won't be any problem.
You
Bosco, you said you can feel this stuff?
I guess I can. I mean, I felt when that root was cut. My head's killing me, man. It feels like my brains is gunpowder and I'm trying to blow my nose.
Here. Reverend passes him a flask.
Reverend, Bosco
is
is gonna
Bosco?
tear up a little bit and say, Reverend, you ain't never given me a gift so precious, but I got to turn it down.
Bosco. Reverend takes a second to realize what he's saying.
so proud of you.
Puts a
Maybe
hand on
just a
his shoulder.
sip. I mean, my head hurts, but... No, I can't.
I'm sorry, Bosco.
I appreciate it, Reverend.
All right, you
Should we?
you all have a choice to make.
We do.
Ooh.
And you know that, of course, either choice that you make is going to lead to a fight. So I will leave it to you whether we are picking up with that or not. or we're
think
going to go through
We
it.
should pick up with that.
Yeah, I recommend we call it here and make our choice next time.
That's good. Okay.
Yes.
I would
Cliffhanger.
agree. We got some
Right
thinking to
before
do.
we end, did we find any evidence of what happened to Amina?
Yes, you do.
Or anybody.
Thank you for reminding me that. So Dr. Amina Hayes was kidnapped because she knows how to use both traditional and magical science and medical knowledge. She's kind of the key and linchpin into being able to make sure that this ritual works without a hitch. And she's probably been forced to make sure that these experiments with the werewolves worked out well, and of course knowing has been part of them figuring out that they can corrupt the egg.
So she is not harmed.
She's alive. Yeah, she's gonna be taken up to the top as well for the ritual.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Better than the alternative.
I'm not so sure about that.
She has been sufficiently injured so as not to run away.
Oh. Well, we're planning on stopping here and picking up what our plans are for next session. Is that right?
Well,
Yeah.
Y'all can make a choice now as to...
I personally
think
want
we
to think
should-
about it more.
I think we should also leave on a cliffhanger.
Really?
As do I.
And
Join
Next
us next time to see if old Bosco makes it out of this place alive.
All right. Well, in that case,
Penumbra
you'll have
is
to-
invincible card.
you all will have to find out what happens next time, whether or not Penumbra goes to the festival to fight off the attack on the citizenry, or tries to rescue the egg from the temple, in hopes that their sinister plot cannot come to fruition. Okay, since we're wrapping this up, this whole stream is specifically to promote the FABLEDOOM Kickstarter that's going on in a couple of days. So we're launching on Tuesday the 25th. So if you like how we're playing this game, if it seems really fun to you, or if you want to learn more, go check that out. Because that's the reason that we're doing all this anyway. With that said, I'm being told you might. I don't know if we actually want to have a poll for what they should do. I think I want to actually let the players think that over themselves.
Don't get me wrong. I did consider suggesting it, but yeah.
Okay. On that note, thank you everyone for tuning in. Thank you for going and checking out the Kickstarter if you get the chance to, where you can get more adventures like this one, the core rule book, cool stuff. I'm gonna thank my patrons really quick. Darian, Marilyn, Tiana, Adrian, Cindy, and Jay. You guys are the best and help make cool streams like this and projects like FableDoom possible. So thank you. Say bye, players.
Goodbye, players.
Don't tell me what to do.
Have a good
You
evening,
ain't the
listener
boss,
viewers.
All right.
Thank you kindly for joining our stream.
Have a great night,
Hope to see you
everyone.
next
Thanks for
time.
watching.
Thanks everyone. Have a great night.
Oh yes, raid time.
Oh,
Have a great week.
crap. Yeah,
Oh,
raid
yeah,
time.
and the
Oh
raid.
my gosh, I almost forgot.
Welcome back to the stream,
I figured
everybody.
we were just gonna figure it out after the end screen, but okay.
Well, I want to. To Iron Oki's question, preferably someone who is also doing TTRPG stuff, so we can stay in the same vein as
Sphere.
possible. It looks like my lovely moderator has sent me a recommendation as well. So I'm gonna check that real quick. Okay.
It is actually rather cool. We were near the we were near the top of people doing TTRPG streams actually.
Were we?
Oh,
Yeah,
really? That's
really?
great.
Yeah, we're not
Cool.
at the top, but we're pretty close.
Near the top.
Wow.
Awesome.
Let me see if I can find these people that you recommended.
We would have been in the top 5 a couple minutes ago.
That's cool. I do not see either of those particular suggestions in what I'm looking at with the TTRPG stuff. I see. Let's see.
Looks like they're both online to me.
Oh, well, I mean, I was like just looking through the category, not them particularly. Give me a sec, and I'll. Do you have a particular recommendation of these two?
Nah. Looks like Battle Bruva is a little bit smaller.
Oh, Gamer Mom Luna, I can recommend.
Oh, cool.
Oh, okay. Well, if we have someone, then we know that we know.
That is
Well,
at all vetted.
While I'm setting that up, do you want to tell our our current audience who they are going to see in a moment?
They are. I don't know. So this is somebody I actually haven't watched any of their streams. I interact with them as a TTRPG creator on Twitter a lot, though. So
Their
they
stream
would
title-
probably
oh.
be. They would probably be running Tales from the Tavern right now.
Yeah,
I
their
see.
stream title is Tales from the Tavern, the epic TTRPG talk show, where chat asks the questions.
Oh, yes, I see them. Yeah, okay. I'm liking it. I'm going to hit. All right. Okay. So I'm gonna take us to our end screen, and then I'm gonna hit start raid. And we're gonna hop over there. Thank you everyone so much for tuning in, and come back next Sunday at the same time to find out how this all goes and what choice our players make. Okay. Bye for real this time.
Have a great week.
Night.
Bye.